Very good afternoon to everyone here. And of course, this is our live stream for the Postposition draw, the fifth running of the George HOSANG OD Classic to be run on Saturday, the 18th of January. Just to mention some folks who are here: Denzel Miller, Racing Secretary, SVREL; Christopher Wills, VP Operations, SVREL; Nigel Hines from the JRC, Operations Steward; Christina White, SVL Draw Officer, assisted by Coyote Fuller, Field Services Technician. Also with us, Mrs. Charmaine Sobrati of the Jamaica Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association, and she's here on behalf of George HOSANG OD, who, as you know, is not here this afternoon, but we will be hearing from him live later on. At this time, we go straight over to Mr. Christopher Wills, our VP, as he will have an operational update, and we'll also have a special message from George himself via a video. So without further ado, let's go over to Chris.
Thanks, Brian. Good day, everyone. What a beautiful day to be at Caymanas Park. As we meet today for our first post-position draw of 2025, I can't help but smile, thinking about what we've achieved together in 2024. It was quite a year. Sure, there were challenges, some of which literally brought racing to a standstill. But wow, did we come through all of them much stronger than before. The highs we achieved last year were definitely ones to write home about and added to the rich legacy of Caymanas Park's 65th year history. We will be telling stories of 2024 for years to come. Let me start by giving a big shout out to Fun Can Done, Jason Da Costa, the trainer, and all the other connections on that incredible multi-mile victory. What a race it was. Of course, we can't stop talking about the outstanding performances in 2024, and not to mention the exciting Jockey Championship that kept us on the edge of our seats right down to the final day of the year. Congratulations to champion jockey Radish Roman, and well done to the runner-up Tevin Foster, who helped to make this one of the best jockey championships we've seen in years. Our Q4 champions really showed what an excellent year, or what excellence actually looks like, Oral Hayden dominated as an owner, while Anthony Nunez continued to show why he's such a force in the over 35 horse training category. Gary Sabrati, Oral Hayden, and our joint winners in the under 9 horses category, which are Gary Crawford, Philip Elliott, and Greg Fennell, O'Neill Markland, and Paul Milton, all brought their A game to the track. Now let me tell you something exciting. 2024 was an absolute knockout for our punters. We created 95 millionaires last year. Let me say that again. We created 95 millionaires last year. In addition to that, we paid over 6.9 or almost $7 billion in dividends. You know what we always say. We make millionaires here at Caymanas Park, and we mean it. We have the evidence to prove it. You know our vision for Caymanas Park. We see it becoming an ultimate destination for racing and entertainment in the Caribbean. A place where families come to make memories, where friends gather to celebrate, and where the region's best horses compete for glory. That's not just a dream anymore. We're making it happen step by step. How many of you were in the Zimmy brunch last week? Let me see the raise of hands. What an incredible event it was. Seeing our infield transform like that, filled with energy and new faces, that's exactly what I'm talking about when I say we're making Caymanas Park the playground for the Caribbean. This is just the beginning, folks. We're looking forward to more partnerships like this because it isn't just the racetrack or a racetrack. It's a premier entertainment destination, not just for Jamaica, but for the entire Caribbean. Today, our focus is on the action on the track. We're starting something special. We're officially launching our quarterly race meets, each named after legends who've made Jamaican horse racing what it is today. The first race meet is named in honor of one of Jamaica's most extraordinary jockeys, George HOSANG OD. Put your hands together for George. George dominated Jamaican racing as a champion jockey for 4 consecutive years. That's from 1972 to 1975. I wasn't even alive at that point. Amassing an incredible 642 wins on our soil, including a single season record of 167 wins that stands today. I thought Lawrence Freeman could ride 3 winners in a single season. Correct, Lawrence? But George wasn't done. He took his talents abroad and conquered North American racing too, becoming champion jockey in Canada from 1979 to 1981, adding another 1,395 wins to his impressive record. His excellence earned him a well-deserved place in the Jamaican Thoroughbred Racing Hall of Fame and the prestigious None Such Award. George HOSANG didn't just race, he rewrote the history books and showed the world what Jamaican talent can achieve. It's fitting then that we launch our quarterly race series meet. We begin with George HOSANG OD race meet running from January through March. This will be followed by the Linval Pickens McFarlane spring meet, the Eros summer meet, and the Wayne Da Costa OD championship meet. Put your hands together, guys. Each of these meets honors legends who've shaped our sport. But this quarter belongs to George HOSANG. In just a few minutes, we'll be doing the live postposition draw for the 5th George HOSANG OD trophy. But let me tell you, that's not all we have up our sleeves. 2024 was just the warm-up. 2025 is when we really start running. Before I wrap up, I want to thank each and every one of you, our dedicated staff, the horsemen and women, our loyal punters, all the breeders, owners, trainers, jockeys, grooms, the farriers, every single one in the thoroughbred ecosystem who plays a significant part in making Caymanas Park what it is and what it will be. The energy I feel at Caymanas Park these days is something special. I often use the term, it's intoxicating. You can't get over it. And you don't wake up the next morning with a hangover, you wake up with a desire to see the races again. It's something it's just special. After 65 years of operations, we're not just preserving a tradition, we're creating a legacy. Keep your eyes on us. There are more big announcements coming soon. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next one. We will now have a special message from our honoree, Mr. George HOSANG OD. Thank you all, and let's make 2025 our best year yet.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen and horse racing fans. This is George HOSANG, and recently I've been honored by Caymanas Park, the first quarter of the racing season to be run in my name. I feel so proud and honored of this recognition, and I would like to thank Mr. Solomon Sharp and his great team from Supreme Ventures Racing and Entertainment Limited. I would also like to thank the team for a great showcasing of Caymanas Park at the Motet Mile a month ago. On Saturday, January 18, will be the George HOSANG Trophy, and I would like to invite all the racing fans to come out and have a good time of good horse racing. And good luck. God bless. The first quarter of the racing season we run in my name. I feel so proud and honored of this recognition, and I would like to thank Mr. Solomon Sharp and his great team from Supreme Ventures Racing and Entertainment Limited. I would also like to thank the team for a great showcasing of Caymanas Park at the Motet Mile a month ago. On Saturday, January 18th, will be the George HOSANG Trophy, and I would like to invite all the racing fans to come out and have a good time of good horse racing. And good luck. God bless.
So that's the message from George. It's now time to go over for race day details and updates, and Denzel Miller, the racing secretary, will let you have them.
Thank you very much, Brian. And a warm Jamaican afternoon to each and every one as we celebrate this weekend with a legend of thoroughbred racing, none other than George HOSANG OD, champion jockey, as Chris said, in Jamaica, and setting the pace for all Caribbean riders on the North American and Canadian circuit by winning more than one championship there, and of course breaking the ice when it was really difficult for horsemen from the Caribbean to go to North America. It's really an honor and a pleasure to put on the show with our team here. Of course, the race this weekend is for overnight allowance horses, going 3/4 of a mile. Of course, the track record for 6 furlongs here in Jamaica is 109-2, set by Eros, who will be honored for the third quarter of the season, the classic quarter. And of course, Eros was ridden back then by Winston Griffiths for owners Dr. Clifford Bradford, I. Clark, Philip Fiani, part owner and trainer. And George also had the pleasure of riding Eros on a number of great occasions here at Caymanas Park. We also saw him ride the Viceroy, She's on Wheels, just to name 3 of the most outstanding horses of the 90s when he was in the twilight of his years. And this year we'll have 10 entrants to face the starter come this weekend, and Mike will take you through the list of runners. Mike?
Thank you very much, Denzel. All protocols observed, and let's get right to it. The first entry is Divine Force, owned by ACK Stables, trained Philip Fiani OD. Ian Dolly Baby Spence will be aboard for owner ACK Stables. Fourth in a recent event on Boxing Day, the Boxing Day sprint, over 6.5 furlongs, so Divine Force should report a lot fitter. Next entry is Inspire Force, also owned ACK Stables, also trained Philip Fiani OD. And Inspire Force was first in the Millard Zadie, over 5.5 furlongs in 107.2, and won an overnight allowance contest over 5.5 furlongs in 106 and 4/5 of a second. Randish Roman, champion jockey, he picks up the mount. Next entry is Noble Attitude, owned by Trevor James and Desmond James, trained Gary Sabrati, and this Noble Attitude recently won a restricted allowance 3 over 5.5 furlongs in 108 and 3/5 of a second. Apprentice Amelia McLean, he will be aboard. Next entry is Benson, owned by Newman Limited, trained Fitzstorm Williams, and aboard will be Richie Shakes, new licensed apprentice, and he recently won aboard Benson. Benson won over 5.5 furlongs in 107 flat. Next entry is a Big Argument, owned David Graham, trained Edward Stanbury, and aboard Big Argument will be Ricardo Carr. And this one unplaced in a recent 3 starts. Next entry, Justin Biden, owned Carlton Granson, trained by Josh Edwards. Rather, that's Launchy Mantle, and the jockey is Josh Edwards. This one was a winner in the Yvonne Mattis over 9 furlongs in 154.2 some time ago. Justin Biden will be in the George HOSANG OD Trophy. Next entry is Mudshaft, owned by Witters Racing Stables. This one trained by Matthew Williams, and of course, a father and son combination. Matthew Williams, son of Mark Williams of Witters Racing Stables fame. Mudshaft recently won easily over 5 furlongs straight in 58.4. That was a restricted allowance 3. So this one appears to have a lot to offer. Next entry is Carlton Watson's Madeline Sunshine, trained by Jason Acosta. And aboard Madeline Sunshine will be Trevor Simpson OD. And this one recently ran over 5 furlongs straight. And her most recent victory came over 5.5 furlongs with 107 and 1/5 of a second. Next entry is Thalita, also owned by champion owner Carlton Watson, also champion trained Jason Acosta. Aboard Thalita will be Robert Hardball Hallidine. And this one is a former St. Ledger winner. So she expected to do well here. Her most recent win came in the Midnight Angel over 6.5 furlongs in 120 flat. And the final entry, Freedom Street, owned by Garl Turner of Joyous Racing fame. And Patrick Lynch will be the trainer here. Aboard Freedom Street will be Ismael Velasquez. And of course, we all know about the exciting Freedom Street recently. So this is the horse named Freedom Street that has been knocking at the door recently. So look for Freedom Street to possibly open his 2025 account with a win. Competitive looking field of 10 for the George HOSANG OD Trophy. I'll tell you who will be the winner on Saturday. Keep tuned to this channel.
Thank you, Michael. So now it's time for the main event, which is the post-position draw for the 5th running of the George HOSANG OD Classic over 6 furlongs, to be run Saturday the 18th of January. Denzel Miller, Racing Secretary, Nigel Hines, Operations Steward, JRC, and Christina White, Draw Officer, and she will be assisted by Coyote Fuller. So it's now time for the post-position draw.
Thanks, Brian. At this point in time, I'm going to invite Mrs. Sabrati to come here and select the runners from the Crystal Bowl. Right on the table here. Christine and Coyote, you may activate the machine.
Yeah, man, just
Stick
take out one,
up
show the
one
number.
and show the name, and then
Show the number.
so the first horse selected by Mrs. Sabrati is Divine Force. Gate number 4 goes to Divine Force. Next selection, Madeline Sunshine. Gate number 9. Next horse is Mudshaft. Gate number 1 goes to Mudshaft. Next, it's a speedball, Benson.
Next is who?
Benson.
Gate number 2, Benson. Next horse selected by Mrs. Sabrati, Thalita. Gate number 10, Thalita. Next selection is Justin Biden. Post position 6. Inspire Force. Gate number 3. Noble Attitude. Gate number 7, Noble Attitude. Big Argument. Gate number 8. The final one is Freedom Street, owned by Joyous Racing. And Freedom Street will break from gate number 5. Brian?
So just repeating the post-position draw for you. Mudshaft drawn at 1, Benson at 2, Inspire Force 3, Divine Force 4. Freedom Street is at 5, coming out of 6, that's Justin Biden. Noble Attitude is 7, Big Argument 8, Madeline Sunshine 9, and completing the field, Thalita drawn at 10. So we have come to the end of today's post-position draw for the George HOSANG OD Classic to be run on Saturday the 18th. Just like to thank those of you who took time out this afternoon to be with us live, and for those of you on the live stream, hoping that it's nice to watch racing on television, but if you come here, that's where all the excitement really grabs a hold of you. So we're encouraging those of you who have never been to Caymanas Park, jump in the car, come out and have some fun. Thank you very much for being with us this afternoon, and thanks to everyone who put this together. Thank you.